Welcome to Techstination. Joining us is Victoria Merinda, a staff researcher at highspeedinternet.com. Thank you for joining us, Victoria.
Hi, thanks for having me.
You have a new report out that's pretty interesting about the states with the fastest and the slowest internet speeds this year. Give us first of all a little background. Is this the first year that you've done this report?
Yeah, so we actually have a speed test tool on our website that you can use just to kind of test your speed and then figure out if that's a good internet speed for you or if you need a different internet speed. And we basically hit a 1 million speed test milestone recently. And we wanted to we thought we have all this data. We have 1 million people who've done this speed test. Let's compile it all together and figure out which states have the slowest average internet in the country and which states have the fastest. And then we also figured out a national average. And I'm sure, as you know, there are government regulated internet speeds that need to be made available. So it's kind of interesting to see kind of where some states stack up and which states are faster and which ones are slower.
And we're talking primarily wired internet connections in homes and offices?
Yeah, this is, I think primarily the people who use our speed test tool are kind of just people at home who want to test their home internet speed. But this really was a mixture of a lot of different, anything from satellite internet connections to wireless or Wi-Fi. So definitely a mixed bag at the moment. But we do plan to release a report closer to the end of the year that will break that down in a bit more detail. But just for this quick report, we just kind of averaged every single test that had been done.
Well, I guess we should have a little drum roll here and talk about the results. Which states did you find have the fastest internet?
So it's pretty interesting to find that the state with the fastest average internet speed was Maryland. A lot of people kind of put that down to maybe having to do with Washington, D.C. and having, the White House and the government. I can't really speak to that personally, but I thought that was kind of interesting. And the top states in order were Maryland, New Jersey, Delaware, Rhode Island, and Virginia. So definitely very East Coast heavy.
Yeah, definitely. And the states that have the slowest internet, the bottom five, so to speak?
So the state with the slowest internet, I don't think it comes as a surprise to many people, but that was Alaska, followed by Mississippi, Idaho, Montana, and Maine. Again, kind of interesting, kind of very West Coast heavy. Idaho and Montana are, states that are very rural and have a lower population. So it's kind of interesting to look at that as well.
Yeah, and Maine, even though it is on the East Coast, obviously has some of the same challenges there, very rural and rugged areas, obviously. So tell us what the trend is that we're seeing today. Those speeds don't seem terribly high, but this is, I guess, the basic service that people would subscribe to, pretty much.
Right. So when we averaged out the average of every single speed test done on our website, the average was about 42 megabytes per second. And Alaska, which had the slowest, was at 17. And Maryland, that had the fastest, was at 65. So there is a huge difference between those two states. But as you can see when you look at the map that we've got, if you do provide that on your report, our map does show that the speeds kind of vary from in the mid 20 megabytes per second to the 60. So it is really interesting just to kind of see really how different it is across the country. Like we said, the East Coast has a heavy kind of leaning of the fastest speeds, and it looks like kind of the West Coast or more rural states have the slower internet. That's kind of the trends that we can see at the moment. But it would be great to break those down even further and see if there really is more of a, look into maybe if it's a satellite internet connection or, different demographic information like that.
Why might it be important for folks to check their internet speeds?
I think it's really important to make sure that you've got enough internet for what you need and that you're also getting the best internet available in your area. I think, all of us can say that internet is really not even a luxury, but a necessity these days. We need internet to to get a job and to be able to study for school and to be able to work. So definitely everyone at some point now needs internet, right? So I would highly recommend running a speed test just to figure out, we've got some resources on our website of how much internet do you need, making sure that you're not paying for too much when you don't really need it, but also making sure you've got enough for what you do need it for and for the amount of people in your house that are using internet or at your business. So highly recommend running a speed test, and also trying to figure out how much internet you actually do need to make sure you're not overpaying or, not getting enough internet.
And there are a number of services out there that do the testing. What sets you apart at high-speed internet?
Yeah, so, we, also, as well as having just the speed test, we do have a ton of other resources. We're kind of a one-stop shop for people to come to our website, like I said, figure out how much internet you need. And then also we have a provider comparison. So it will show you in your zip code what's available. You can figure out which internet plan you'd like to purchase, which is best for you. So our website, as well as having the speed test, there are a lot of speed tests out there. We also do have a ton of resources you can use to help you make an informed decision. And also we release some fun reports like this one that you can kind of go and read and see kind of what's happening in the tech world, what's happening with internet at the moment. So it's kind of a one-stop shop for everybody with all things internet.
And people might wonder, okay, so how do you maintain your business? Is it advertising, or tell us a little bit more background so people know?
Yeah, so we're primarily an internet provider service. Like I said, we will compare kind of all the different internet providers that you have available in your area. So that's kind of the background of our website, is that we're here to help consumers make their decision. And, if you do purchase through our website, we may earn some money from clicking certain links.
Terrific. And again, it's highspeedinternet.com. Victoria, Merinda, thank you for taking the time with us.
Yeah, thank you so much, Fred.
Now this. How many companies out there have continued to innovate when it comes to building a better radio? I'm Fred Fishkin, host of Techstination, and I'm here to tell you about the new CC Skywave SSB radio from the wonderful people at C. Crane. Bob and his crew really love radio, and it shows in this new compact model that is packed with features. Beyond great AM and FM reception and sound, you can tune into shortwave signals from around the world, listen to ham radio operators, aviation, and more. It's the radio you'll turn to every day, and in emergencies. It will run for nearly 3 days on just 2 AA batteries. Pair the sleep timer with the new Soft Speaker 3, and you've got the perfect radio for your nightstand. Of course, it can wake you up too. Click on Crane at Techstination.com and put in the code Techstination for a free flashlight with your order. They love radio, and you'll love Crane.